Hey you all, welcome back to Joey's Adventure. Sorry if the camera's off, I low vision for those you don't know, but today we're going to talk about the Ford Probe. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. The Ford Probe came out in 1987, but it was supposed to be the fourth generation Ford Mustang, but unfortunately Mustang fans back in the 80s did not want a front-wheel drive Mustang and a 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder option only. Yes, they did make 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder Mustangs, but they wanted an 8-cylinder still and a rear-wheel drive. So they ended up not making the Probe the Mustang and they made it the Ford Probe. And there were two generations of the Probe, the first gen and the second gen. The second gen came out in 93. The first gen was in 87. In 93, they did a couple of changes. And the Probe was an awesome sports car. They made the Probe GT, then they made the basic Probe. And then in 1997, the Ford Probe ended production and the Ford ZX2 took it over. The Ford ZX2, also known as a Ford Escort ZX2, it was a sporty two-door little car made by Ford until 2003. And the Ford ZX3 took that over in 2003. Now, the Ford ZX3 was a two-door Focus with a little hatchback. That's why they call it the ZX3. It had the Z-Tech engine in it, the same engine that the ZX2 had, a Z-Tech. That's what Z stands for, Z-Tech. And then in the late 2000s, an SUV took it over called the Ford Fiesta ST, took over the ZX3. And that's the story, the Ford Probe. Now, did you know a woman designed the interior on a Ford Probe? Yes, a woman designed the interior on it. And did you know the Ford Probe is a collaboration with Ford and Mazda? The Mazda MX-6 is also kind of like the Ford Probe, but it's Mazda's version because Mazda and Ford worked together to make the Probe. So Mazda MX-6 is technically a Ford Probe. Now, the Ford Probe had two engines, a 2.0 four-cylinder or a 2.4